and welcome back to another episode of Media Munchers. I'm Mathian.
And I'm Adrian.
And we got a lot to do today. First, I want to get into the news with you, Big Apple. I spoiled it for you, or I guess you spoiled it for you a little bit, but it's exciting. I just saw this on my feed. Netflix's live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender cast Paul Sung-hyung, I think I said that right, Paul Sung-hyung Lee as Uncle Iroh. And we even have a picture up here, too. That's exciting because have you seen Kim's Convenience?
I've seen a few episodes. I haven't.
My family's gotten pretty into it lately, like almost religiously. We're watching it like every night. And I don't know, there's like 5 seasons of it. And I think we're already on season 3 or 4, and it's been like a month. And man, we love him. He's great. He's freaking hilarious. He plays the shopkeeper, the dad of the family, the patriarch.
Yeah, Mr. Kim.
Mr. Kim, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about Netflix doing a live adaptation of Avatar because the animated version was so good.
Yeah.
But I feel a little happier that we'll see some sort of, live action Iroh, and I think he's like the perfect choice. Like I can't think of anyone else. Now that I hear that, I'm like, oh no, he's it. That's it.
You think they're gonna go more towards the comedic side of Avatar, or do you think they're gonna lean more towards the serious?
I don't know.
Seeing his casting, it does make me feel, at least seeing just a few episodes, seeing his character, it does seem like they might be going more of the comedic side.
I really am hoping that way because he definitely plays comedy more often than not. Because it is a sitcom, right? So
right.
He does comedy really well, and I think he could do Iroh's comedy extremely well.
Yeah,
I am hoping they don't dilute it and make it just soppy, sad, crying drama 24/7. Like I would hope, even if it is mostly drama, that he is the brevity and like the levity in it. You know what I mean? He's like breaking the ice and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I really do hope they lean into his comedic chops because he's definitely got them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could see him messing with the gang, as they call it, like so much. It's gonna be great. One last thing while we're on the topic of live action Avatar, do you think they're gonna do like kind of a beat by beat of the animated story, the books, or do you think they're gonna?
I think they've said that they are gonna go kind of beat by beat, take the main storylines. But I think they are trying to expand upon them as well.
Interesting. I guess that comes 2022, huh? There's no way they're just dropping this year.
Probably, yeah. So
I'm looking forward to that. that little bit of casting got me excited. I was like, okay.
Yeah, me too.
We're gonna switch gears into some fun technology. It's actually really cool though. You brought this to my attention. You want to go ahead and read that headline for me, Big Apple?
Yeah, it was adaptive headlights are now coming to the U.S.
Yeah, I didn't even know these existed. I mean, granted, unless you have like a newer car with like LEDs or whatever, you're just gonna have like the old school, whatever they were, halogen or just like the old school bulbs.
Right.
And so a lot of these are LED, and LED lights I have mixed feelings about in general on the road because like there's some people who just like leave their high beams on 24/7, and I'm dying. And this is gonna fix that because I'm tired of being blinded when I'm doing like 40 on like an access road or something.
Yeah.
And long story short, the description they give here, it says, say you're driving on a dark road off the highway and a car approaches from the opposite direction. The headlights see this, shut down the cluster of lights that would end up blinding the other driver in oncoming traffic, and keep your lane completely lit with as much light as possible. This technology can do this for multiple cars too, if different lanes. That's explaining the adaptive headlight technology. Right. And that's really interesting because that begs the question. It's like, okay, are we going to design... I mean, these already exist, I'm sure, because, it's now coming to the U.S., but are they going to design bigger and better ones with even more LED lights and more capability? Because if you're losing, like, let's say 40% of your headlights, to accommodate one person, coming by, how much of the road are you actually going to be able to see still? So I thought that was interesting.
Right, yeah.
But in concept, in theory, this is a great idea because I'm trying to save these eyeballs, Big A, and I'm not trying to wear, night driving glasses. Would you go, let me ask you this, is this feature so important that you'd go out of your way to get a new car or a used new car if you had the money to get it? Or is it just a nice to have and you hope to see more of it?
No, yeah, I think it's just nice to have. It's good that we're getting new technology like that in the U.S. Cause
there's a lot of exciting things. I think many car manufacturers are trying to go like all green, all electric by like 2035 as soon as then, which is not that far away. It's like maybe 12 years.
Yeah.
Like having an all electric fleet. I think GM is doing that. One of the American automakers. So. And Tesla, as I recall, has like 79% of the electric vehicle market share right now. So everyone's vying for a piece of the pie. Ford, Amazon's or Jeff Bezos back, Rivian, like all these companies are going after them. So It's really exciting. It's getting spicy. We're gonna have some spicy vehicles coming in the future, Big A.
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on, while we're on the topic, how do you feel about self-driving, like full self-driving, not this like let me touch the wheel like Tesla. I'm talking like no wheel, like 10 years from now when they like figure all
I'm
this
ready
out.
for it.
You ready for it?
I don't mind.
I'm ready to go to sleep and be driven to where I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. Yeah. Back to entertainment news. This one really excited the film nerd in me. So Disney Plus is to launch 13 Marvel movies in IMAX expanded aspect ratio starting last Friday, November 12th.
Yeah, yeah.
And we started watching Shang-Chi in the IMAX format, and I was just like,
too.
this is so beautiful. I love this. Where has this been all my life? There was some controversy about this. Like even on Twitter, people were blowing up saying like, that's meant to be, viewed on the IMAX screen only. Like this is degrading it. Like you can never have the same experience at home. I mean, where do your thoughts lie with all of that?
Well, I think ultimately, like, to enjoy a movie, it's just about, like, just picking a movie. I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
Like, okay, let me ask you straightforward.
What do you
do you agree, like, with these, like, snobs who are like, you can only enjoy the IMAX format, which is just a little taller. You get, like, 26% more screen real estate. You see more of the picture,
right?
More of the CG and all that. Like, do you think like you could only enjoy that on a 300-foot screen, or you like if you had a sufficient screen at home, or like is it killing the cinema experience by watching that on your phone? You know what I mean? Like, are you destroying the filmmaker's vision?
That's already a thing, right? To watch a movie, like the IMAX enhanced, that doesn't really.
No, that's new.
Well, yeah, that's new. But what are you asking?
I'm asking, are the people screaming on Twitter about you saying no? Shame on you! You can only watch IMAX ratio movies in the theaters. How dare you watch it? That's specific.
I think that's too specific.
That's what they're yelling about.
To really like care about. Yeah.
I mean, people will yell about anything on Twitter. Big A, this is Twitter. You would know. You're on it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna throw my hat in there and say I think it doesn't matter that much. I think it enhances my experience. And Disney owns these, right? And they let the theatrical run make its money. They're not taking away from tickets and IMAX. Like Shang-Chi was out like a month and a half ago. Or maybe 2 months ago now. Like, it's been a minute.
Something like that.
Like, they had their theatrical run. They made their millions of dollars.
I think it was a 45-day run.
Like, in the theaters,
at least. Like,
at least, minimum.
45.
And my thing is like, why would we lock up all this extra filmmaking and all this extra, like, CG work in a vault? Like, let us see it. Like, I have a pretty large TV downstairs. Not a flex. It's just the truth. And watching Shang-Chi on that was crazy, especially in the IMAX format. Like, it lent itself to it, like, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If people want to be snobby about watching it on the phone, that's one thing, I guess. But I really didn't mind it.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to watch it on your phone, you're going to watch it on your phone.
You can't stop people from doing that. You know what I mean? Well, controversy aside, there's actually 13 titles available in this IMAX enhanced format.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of them, including, Shang-Chi, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy. I thank God they did Infinity War and Endgame because those were shot entirely on IMAX. And I want to be able to relive at least a semblance of that experience. It was crazy because I saw Infinity War at least 4 or 5 times in theaters.
Give
me a second, Big A. I saw Infinity War like 4 or 5 times in theaters, and I saw it the first time in IMAX, and I saw it the second time in like a normal formatted theater, and I could tell even from the opening scene, I was like, wow, I'm losing a lot of real estate here. Like I'm losing a lot of the film. It was a similar experience. It was still epic, but it just wasn't as epic. So I'm glad they brought that back. Another small thing that was interesting is that I don't think Iron Man, the first one, which is included on this list, was even shot in IMAX cameras.
Oh.
Which was weird. I have to like go double check that. But I was like, this is a 2008 movie, and I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there was one scene, maybe like but like not the whole movie. That's weird. And I wonder how they're gonna handle that because.
Yeah, is that
games like Civil War, I mean, movies like Civil War, they only had like certain sequences, like the airport scene, shot in IMAX cameras. The rest of them were normal, like cinema cameras, normal aspect ratio. So I wonder if we're going to see like widescreen and then cut to full screen because it's IMAX time on Disney Plus, and then back to like, widescreen on those kind of movies. I'll have to check, not to see. But
some movies do that though, and I don't.
Like Nolan's films do that.
Yeah. Do you think it takes you out when you watch that?
It can. Like Michael Bay. Like when it's like Transformers and the aspect ratio is changing from like shot to shot.
Yeah.
That throws me off because that's extreme. Like it's
but
like
these movies are pretty chaotic no matter what.
Yeah.
So.
You're gonna get a headache or a migraine watching his films for sure. But I'm saying that's the extreme. Like I mean, if anything, it brought me in more in Civil War because it was done so intentionally. You know what I mean? So I think it depends on the film and I guess how you're watching it. And go back to that argument. But yeah, it takes me out when it's like the extreme of Michael Bay for sure. But it's all exciting. It's all good news for entertainment lovers, I would say. I mean, how else would we have seen it before? This is the first time that's come to anything, like being able to see it in IMAX format at home. So it's exciting to me.
True.
We'll take a quick little break, and then when we come back, we got some trailers to watch, Big Apple?
Yep.
Alrighty. Let's do that. Oh, we got to pre-order those IMAX tickets as soon as possible, Big Apple.
Definitely.
Spider-Man Monday is what they call it. Spider Monday. Man, that was so weird. But man, that was a great second trailer. Hold on. Hot take.
Yeah.
Did they show too much, or were they just confirming what we all knew?
I don't know that they're showing too much. I feel like I kind of put the whole story together
Yeah.
a little bit, but I also think that they're hiding more than what we've seen.
They do that in like a lot of trailers for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, like we knew most of the villains were gonna be there, and I think it's pretty safe to say we all know that the other Spider-Man will show up. You know, in what capacity or for how long, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, they might have been edited out of that big, final fight with the Statue of Liberty. But it's really interesting how we're taking through a lot of assumptions and beats here. Like, I love how Doctor Strange is like, "Oh, the spell you botched." It's like, bro, you were casting it. What are you going on about? You're supposed to be the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, don't put that on the kid. But that was just my opinion. I thought it was really interesting how we kind of called what Doc Ock was talking about, like on the bridge, where he assumed, they're like, "Why did he say hello, Peter?" He's assuming that it's his Spider-Man, and like, no, he
because he has a similar costume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, okay, well, you're not my Peter Parker," basically, was what he was alluding to. Do you think he like takes the nanites from Peter's suit, and like that's how he gets his upgrade to his arms?
That could be a possibility.
Because that was just out of nowhere. I was like, okay, a new toy selling.
Yeah, I wonder. It seems like maybe he at some point might be helping them out.
That's what it looked weird, though, because it looked like they were keeping him kind of prisoner down there. But at the same time, he was helping him with the science and explaining things. And then he also mentioned, like, Doctor Strange was saying that you're going out there to fight ghosts. And that made me think, okay, hold on. Let's go through all the Spider-Man live action. Let's start with Spider-Man 1, Sam Raimi. Okay, Hobgoblin, whatever you want to call him, Green Goblin, he dies, right, at his own glider.
Right.
So he's for sure dead, so I can see why they use that explainer. Doc Ock, he dies, drowns, whatever, in the end of the second one. Okay, get that. Spider-Man 3 with like a bunch of villains. Sandman, does he die? Does he get his happy ending?
No, he
like walks off in the sunset with his daughter, right? Yeah.
Well, you don't see him with his daughter, but he does. He does like blow away in the wind.
That's vague. We'll say he's dead. And then we young boy Goblin. You know what I'm talking about? New Goblin. You want to call him that? Whatever. Surfboard Goblin.
James Franco's?
That Goblin. Did he die?
Okay. Yeah, he did. He got stabbed by his own glider as well.
Oh my god. Okay, poetic. I forgot that happened.
Somewhat, maybe.
I guess. Okay.
They try to be at least.
Right? And then hold on, there was a third villain. Okay, Venom. What became of Venom? Did he die again?
The symbiote. No, they both died. Peter trapped him in the
little
metal
ding,
bars.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you win.
Took him out and then blew him up.
I forgot about Spider-Man 3 is a fever dream. Okay. So all of those villains are dead, right? In that universe?
I don't think Sandman is.
Okay.
I think
that's
Sandman
open to interpretation. He's in purgatory, we'll call it. I don't know. Okay, that's the first trilogy. The second trilogy, if you would, Andrew Garfield. Who was the first villain again? Was it
Lizard?
Lizard? Did he die?
He died. I think he was stabbed or shot.
Okay,
something.
We'll say he's dead. I don't even remember that one. That's so sad. The ending.
They were up on a like tower.
Okay, great. The second one with Electro, and it was probably stuff with other villains too, right?
Yeah, it was
Electro and
it was Harry again.
Yeah, Harry again. Did he die?
He was the Goblin. No. He was sent to prison.
Same thing. I'm kidding. And then Electro, did he die?
I think he died.
God.
I think they insinuated he died.
So they're right in the trailer. They are fighting ghosts. Like maybe they're snatched from their timeline like a minute before they die or something like that.
And that makes me believe that they are gonna have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Because it almost doesn't make sense story like within their own
like universe.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's the story wouldn't work with them.
It's almost like we're retconning their universe.
Or without them within that movie.
Yeah, it's almost like we're retconning their universe. It's like they're about to do the final blow, and then they get teleported, and like, where'd they go? And then maybe they get like transported. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all really wonky. But what's even crazier is that there's so much going on here, and in that last fight, it seems like the universe is tearing open, and like,
Mm-hmm.
do you think there's gonna be a pretty resolution, or are we going straight into Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness 2?
Yeah, I don't know. I would like for them to do that.
I would like for them to do that too.
I think that would be really interesting. But I think there also needs to be a solid conclusion for
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man's
arc.
story.
Yeah. That's another thing
So-
I'm worried about too. Is are they pulling
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3? Like, is this too many characters, or do you think they can pull it off this time with Marvel's help?
Mhm.
What do you think, Big Apple? Hot take.
I don't know. I kind of have a theory where they might like the resolution for the story might be Peter has to go off into another universe, another universe, and take care of it, because that's where all those villains are sent to
Interesting.
as
Maybe.
a means to like tie up everything.
Maybe. I might have been, I don't know, smoking crack when I heard this, but I thought I heard someone say that they were going to shoot for a new trilogy, and it was going to be Peter Parker, MCU, like our Peter Parker, in college for the next trilogy, and then at some point be mentoring Miles Morales, because I don't think he's going to make an appearance in this one. It's already mega stuffed, and you wouldn't be doing him justice by just shoving him in here.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I am interested to see if they keep it to just the 3 Spider-Man we've known in the past 2 decades, or if they do sprinkle in some more multiversal Spider-Mans, or save that for another Into the Spider-Verse live action type beat. You know what I mean? Because this is kind of like a soft Into the Spider-Verse thing in terms of like, it's really just contained to the movies we've seen in live action.
Mm-hmm.
But then they might save it, 6-10 years down the line for busting it wide open with all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I wonder if they would even allude to the Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know if they're gonna try and keep it separate for now, and then maybe like on Spider-Verse 3, that's the big crossover or something.
Right.
We'll see. Hey, thoughts on that last Gwen Stacy reference?
That was interesting. There was that one, and there was the Spider-Man 3 reference with Peter trying to catch the Goblin bomb.
Oh, I didn't even catch that one.
I feel like it. At least those were like homages, I think.
Yeah, at the very least.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking if they are gonna do like they jump and help you save the day, I feel like that would be a good point for Andrew Garfield's web to show up and be like, I'm not gonna let this happen to another homie. So we'll see. I don't know. Overall, a freaking great trailer. I'm glad we're gonna see J. Jonah Jameson in person.
Oh yes,
looking like how he did in like Justice League or something. It's like a similar. He loves those hats, man.
It's a very similar shot.
It's a very similar shot. I was like, maybe gonna Batman and Soup showing up. Got the Flash.
Yeah, that's cool that we're gonna get more of him.
Yeah, for real.
I'm glad it wasn't just that one off.
Oh, of course, yeah. No. I think he'd love to come back, and obviously he did. So
yeah,
I such a huge. Okay, last question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you first. You first.
Do you think he will also do the Tobey Maguire version of him?
Ah, dude, that would be crazy if they did that. If they met each other?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You're fired. No, I don't know. I would love it. Oh my! If he met Doctor Strange, he's like, it's already taken.
Yeah.
What if that version met our Doctor Strange? It's too much. We don't have time for that. Last question though.
Yeah.
How long do you think the runtime's gonna be? Or how long does it think it should be?
I think it should be near 3 hours.
I agree. I agree completely, because there's so much going on. Like, I think 2 hour 35 minimum.
Especially if they want this to be like a send off for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. If they want to like separate them from the MCU.
Oh, that's a good point, man.
Because there's rumors that Venom with the post credit scene that he might be in this one.
Yeah, of course. Like I could see him making an appearance or something, but
yeah,
it's all very up in the air. Their sharing arrangement, like, are they gonna renew? Are they gonna not? I'm sure they have plans for either.
Yeah,
it's all so confusing.
I would like them to kind of like work out a balance. Like maybe this is where they work into Miles Morales' story. Like towards the end, they have some sort of like small tie to it.
Yeah, I mean they already had deleted scenes where they reference him by name in I believe it was the second.
No, I think it was the first one.
Spider-Man, yeah, with
Childish Gambino.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's interesting. Man, we could talk this all day. We gotta move on. Let's check out that other trailer. You had what was it? Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up.
Let's check it out. I want to see what's up with that. Okay. Wow, I wasn't expecting that at all. See, that kind of ties into what. That's interesting. Maybe I should have watched the trailer for Red Notice. We'll get back to that. But That's
Right.
interesting because that gives me a very clear tone and message of like what this movie's gonna be about, and I'm
Mhm.
intrigued. Like it's kind of like there's a lot of like apocalyptic type movies. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot. I won't get into it, but there's one that reminds me of that. It's I forgot the name, but it's basically like a similar premise. I think a comet's heading to Earth and people are like living their last hours. I think maybe Steve Carell's in it or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but anyway,
Hmm.
it reminds me of that. Except this is like turned up to 11. It's obviously looks as rated R. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
huge comedy. I'm excited for it. I like the premise of like no one takes them seriously. Because I feel like that's kind of what happens. Like, what can you do?
Right.
Everyone just like doesn't take anyone seriously, and it's just all a big
Yeah, I mean,
farce and joke.
it kind of parallels a little bit of what's going on right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could definitely say that. Because everyone's just kind of like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
So it's awesome. I love when they hold a mirror up to reality like that. December 24th, huh? There's a lot coming out this fall and
Mhm.
next year especially. I'm excited.
Yeah, and this movie's stacked with
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
Yeah.
ungodly amounts of talent in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw, I think was Timothy Chalamet playing some sort of like teenage hobo stoner looking dude. And I was like, okay, that tracks.
Something like that.
And then it was geeking me out. I was like, okay, this is not the typical role I feel like I would see DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence choose.
Mm.
Like to me, they've been pretty dramatic actors.
Yeah.
Not that they can't do comedy because they can, but it's just weird to see them in something like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a testament to the director Adam McKay. I think he's also writing this one. He wrote and directed the Big Short.
Yeah, I saw them dropping a bunch of stuff he did previously.
And Vice.
And then what was that? Was there additional? Let me go back. Was there additional like help with writers and like Anchorman or something? I saw them name drop that too.
Oh
at some
yeah,
point.
yeah. So it might
The
have
Big
been.
Short, and then so that's the director of The Big Short and Vice. And Step Brothers and Anchorman. So he directed all of those.
I don't know
It's
that
a
he did that.
continuation.
Is that what he?
This
is
is
that what it said?
continuation. It says he directed The
Oh,
Big
okay,
Short, Vice,
okay.
and then Step Brothers and Anchorman.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think they're flexing. They can do both. He can do drama and comedy really well.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
shows.
He started in comedy
And then he
then
went
took
over.
on The Big Short.
Well, but then
Okay.
I have high hopes for this big.
Yeah,
Apple.
yeah.
Now hold on. Final question. Unless you have more, is this something that you'd actually shell out money to go see in the theater, or are you just gonna check it out on Netflix?
Dude, I would love to see this in the theater.
Really?
I think this is this could be because this has similar energy to The Big Short and to
Mhm.
Vice, and those were able to make like because it was about politics.
Mhm.
Vice, it can make those less interesting topics exciting.
Oh, I see.
That style of energy that Adam McKay brings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this one will have that same feel and be a good time in the theater. So I think it's worth seeing.
All right, Big Apple. Well, I
Yeah.
guess we'll be checking that one out then. Let's take a small break, and then when we get back, I'm going to give this review for Red Notice. Okay, and we're back with our review of Red Notice. I'm going to jump right into my initial thoughts because I felt two ways about this movie for a minute, and I'm going to get into it. So, starting off, I really had no idea what to expect when I first heard about this movie. And from the promo materials, I hadn't really watched a full trailer. I kind of just watched, maybe interviews, them talking about it, and then, a couple of posters and stuff like that, little ads and stuff. I thought I was going to get some, buddy cop heist movie where the three of these characters, Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, and Dwayne Johnson, would, crack wise occasionally, but still have tons of drama and high stakes. I thought this closer to, a Mission Impossible type movie that happened to be about heists.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something
I
like
got
that.
that same.
That's the energy I was receiving.
Thought too. Yeah.
So that's what I was expecting. Instead, what we got was an Ocean's 11 style heist movie where no one seems to be on the same page about what's going on, and they're not on the same side of anything, and people are crossing him and them and them and him, and you're just trying to keep up. You know what I mean? And I noticed it's also played to be a comedy first and then kind of an action film second, which is interesting because when I first saw that, I didn't really like it because of my preconceived notions of what this movie should be. I was literally projecting a movie onto screen, and it wasn't matching up what I was getting, and I was really upset. I was like, "What am I watching? This doesn't make sense."
Yeah.
But then I watched it a second time, and I retuned my expectations, and also I was a bit more sober the second time. And now that they were retuned, it was a lot more palatable. I'm not saying it was a fantastic movie, but I enjoyed it a lot more for what it was. So as I was saying, the second time I watched it, it was a lot more palatable. Because again, I readjusted my expectations. And that being said, the movie was obviously technically well done. That was out of the park. Being written and directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber, who you may know from writing and directing Dodgeball back in 2004, but more recently directing DJ in Skyscraper 2018.
Oh, right.
So, I would say thanks to the production, like letting Ryan Reynolds riff, it kind of felt like there was two scripts going on during the movie. You know what I mean? And sometimes that helped it, and sometimes it hurt it. There was really great little gags like lift with your neck and like little asides that Ryan Reynolds was really good at.
Yeah.
But at certain times I was like, okay, man, like reel him back, production, just a little bit, like keep him on track. And it still was a little hard to follow the plot, but that was the point. I think it was also kind of a slight satire on those 90s type movies, like those heist movies where it's all tropey and like, he even calls it out. Ryan Reynolds was like, your interests are bullshit to Gal Gadot, like after she meets him in the Nazi lair or whatever towards the end of the movie. So, all that, taking all that into consideration, it was a lot better the second time around. Did you ever get a chance to see it the second time, or were you just disappointed after the first time?
No, I was disappointed the first time.
Talk to me about your disappointment. Talk to me about your disappointment.
Man, it was hard to even get into the movie at
Yeah.
the beginning. Like I feel like it didn't have a strong opening. It felt like just watching Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, just kind of like
they didn't really have much else going on in terms of character, and I thought one of the shining moments was Gal Gadot. I thought her acting seemed to improve, or at least she had a chance to show things that she hasn't before.
Yeah, her charisma really shined through the brightest, I feel like. Because with she didn't really have to change her personality throughout the film. And this brings me to my next point about DJ. It was interesting to see Dwayne Johnson portray someone who's supposed to be Johnny Law, but not really go all the way. And that's for reasons, because he is acting within a movie. You know what I mean? Like he's acting as if he is someone else when he's not. Because he downplays a lot of the tropes we're used to seeing him in. Like I was expecting a prison fight scene because the big macho Dwayne Johnson's supposed to like beat someone's ass, and he didn't do that. Yeah. I was expecting him to like, I don't know, Superman that bull in the forehead, but he just got thrown over. I'm kidding. Of course he wasn't going to do that. But it was interesting to see him get thrown around and be like the butt of the joke the whole movie. Or not the whole movie, but for a lot of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that to me was really like different. I don't know. I hadn't seen him in that position before. It was weird seeing him play not against type, but like not with it either. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was a weird middle ground that I wasn't sure if I liked until like the end, I guess. I don't know if he's gonna do more of that going forward. They did set up not a trailer. They set up a sequel right at the end where they're all on the same page. That is the movie I'm interested in seeing, because this one felt like the characters were a little underdeveloped for the sake of just like, we got to get through this. And I agree with you at the top, that intro with the whole like History Channel explainer for the egg. Yeah. While it was necessary, it didn't get me riled up to see the movie. I was like, okay, like what are we doing? Is this an episode of like, I don't know, Ancient Aliens, or what am I watching? Yeah. And then it got into the heist movie. So it was really interesting. But they set up a lot of like small things there the second time. I caught a lot more jokes and stuff like that, but it wasn't like super remarkable. It was just like an acceptable film. You know what I mean? I think they could do better is what I'm saying. And I hope they do better in the sequel.
You think it's getting one, or is
I think it will. They keep like, I keep seeing all these headlines about it's the biggest Netflix opening, 148 million hours watched. I was like, oh shit, okay. So, and that's another thing too. I could have covered in the news. Netflix actually changed their viewership and how they rate it. It used to be that you only had to watch like 2 minutes of any content on Netflix, and that's a view. Right. But now they're revamping it because of all the criticism they got, and you have to, which rightfully so. Yeah. You have to watch about 70% at least of the content for it to count as like a view or whatever, or like I guess as hours watched. So they're making people be more thorough and actually more attentive to what they watch. So it's a more accurate count of streaming, because this is the future, like it or not. Like theaters are gonna stay for a while, because it's always gonna be cool to go see something on the big screen. But I wouldn't have paid to see this in a theater, or at least I would have regretted it if I did. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm glad I was able to just get back at home and watch it. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Any final thoughts on Red Notice, or?
No,
not really.
That's about it.
It is really about it. Yeah, I will say this: my rating, I don't think yours changed because you only saw it once. My rating the first time was like a 3.5 or a 4, but watching it the second time with the right mindset and understanding what they were going for, it's about a 6.5 or a 7. That's pretty generous, but yeah. Are you still at a solid? What was yours? I was like a 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah, maybe like a 4. I don't know. This wasn't my kind of movie. It was
I just like that.
it was too little of what it could have been.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely a shell of what it could have been.
Yeah.
But you know what? If they can make the sequel better, I'm here for it. So hopefully they figure out what they want to do in that second one.
Yeah.
But I think that's all the time we have for today. For Media Munchers, I'm Mathian,
And I'm Adrian.
and we'll catch you next time.